Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey.
Hey everyone, look at this. I have a person.
I'm a human.
Look, I found them.
I was just lying on the street.
No, you weren't.
No.
You were on the couch.
I was on the couch, but now I'm here. And I'm going to talk about
They, them pronouns because you use them and a lot of people ask about them and they're curious about how to start and how it feels and if it feels good and how you knew it was right and how you have the conversation and stuff.
and the things.
And since you've done it, you know. So you're going to kind of like take over this vlog. I'm kind of just here for moral support. This is how I support people.
Okay, cool. I like it. So I probably started using they, them pronouns two and a half years ago.
You're right. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while now, which
Wow.
is kind of wild. So I started using them a long time ago, and I remember the moment that I told you that I kind of liked them. Do you remember?
I just took a sip of warm beer and then itched the inside of my ear like a classy person.
Cool. Anyway, so do you remember the first time I told you that I was, like, kind of interested in them?
Okay. I remember, when I think about your gender, I remember the first night we really dove into it. We were on a walk and we went to that park up there. Is that when we started really talking about entertaining the idea of different pronouns?
No, that's when we started talking about different names.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the first time that we had a conversation about my pronouns was when we were on Lake Bidet Makaska.
Mm-hmm.
And we were out on we were like playing around.
Were we on a paddleboard or we were?
Yeah, we were on a paddleboard.
Okay.
Yeah, we were on a paddleboard. And I remember you just like kind of asking me like, well, what do you think about pronouns? And I think it was the first time I had said it out loud that I was thinking about they, them pronouns.
Was it scary?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like at the same time, I knew that you and I like were very like safe. This was like a safe place, but I had like thought about it a bunch. The way that I process things is that I just think about it and think about it and think about it by myself for like months, and then I bring it up super casually. Like
That's probably why I don't remember too much because I remember the conversation at the park because I could like tell you were like visibly nervous.
Yeah.
And it was emotional, but I probably don't remember this one so much because you probably did do it casually. But
yeah,
those conversations are super scary no matter how casually delivered for whoever is like doing the asking.
Yeah. So it was like, I remember that was like the first time, and you're like, well, do you want me to use them sometimes? And I was like, sure.
That does sound like you.
Yeah.
Like that tone of voice and that kind of like.
That's like exactly how it goes. I bring it up super casually, like, do you want me to do it? Yeah! Let's just like not talk about it again. Cool.
But we totally do talk about it.
Yeah, we do.
But we take a break in that moment because it's like
but that moment's like tough. It's scary.
Yeah.
And like you want to feel like sometimes for me at least having something be casual and like not a lot of pressure is really helpful for me processing or like not feeling like I'm doing something scary. So
can I go see what that is? You keep talking.
yeah. So I don't want to be doing anything like too scary. And then so at first I just had Ash use they them pronouns. Like even in our house, which was kind of weird, but like just like by ourselves, but it still helped. And we did that for probably like 5 or 6 months. And then I started bringing a few people in on it, like here and there. What is it?
It's a motorcycle.
Oh, okay. I just like brought a few of my really close friends in on it, and then really started like heavily using it, just like inside my friend group. And then I kind of made it more public online, and from there I like talked to my family about it, and then even recently I've like advocated for myself at work. But it was a really long process. It started out me using she, her, and they, them pronouns interchangeably, like both, like saying I was comfy with both, and that's like not the case. Like I exclusively like they, them for pronouns. And it took me a little while to get there, but then what I always noticed was every single time people use she, her pronouns, I was super uncomfortable, and when they use they, them, it made me feel so much better. So it was a lot of not like trial and error, but it's also getting more comfortable with they, them. Because, like, at first, it felt a little uncomfy for they, them because no one else, like, I never actually had it. Like, no one ever referring to me as that. So it took me a while to get used to it. And then I think it was trying it out in our home, bringing it really slowly into my life. And now, like, whenever somebody misgenders me, like, or uses the wrong pronoun.
You punch them.
No.
Directly
no.
in the face.
Violence is not my thing. But it definitely throws me off. I'm like, you know, that just, it feels super weird and I don't like it. So, my advice is first of all, if you know you just want people to use it, then, like, advocate for yourself and, like, do that as long as you're in a safe space. But also, if you're not sure and you want to try it, like, I would suggest finding, like, one close friend to, like, just start with. Or your partner. Or, like, if you're in a group or, like, you're meeting new people and they're using their pronouns and you want, like, them just to start with that, that's also okay. There's a bunch of different ways, but I found it helpful to start slow and kind of make sure that I was getting used to it and I felt safe and that, I could I found it easier for me to, like, kind of get into it gradually. And then I made my decision of, like, what kind of pronouns I really wanted based off of how I was feeling after a while of using both. So
I think that something that you did, I remember you told me that I thought was really, really smart, that I think anybody could do. Because sometimes, like, I worry that maybe you're like, okay, start with, like, one close friend or one close whatever.
Yeah.
What if everybody is scary, you know?
Yeah, that's
or
true.
Or what if, like, you just moved? Or what if you don't have a ton of, like, a really close friends?
Yeah, no, for sure.
For whatever reason. So something that you said that you do that I feel like could be accessible to most folks is if you are going to any kind of, like, coffee shop or restaurant or anything where you, like, have to do an order and they take a name, you can try out different names there. Make sure you're not paying with a card, though, because sometimes
that's
sometimes your name is on your card and it, like, outs you. Unless you're using, like, your mom's card or your whatever card.
Yeah, but that's probably, like, good for names, but specifically for pronouns, I think, like, it's a little bit easier. But if you're trying out names, that's always a really good one.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, but or, like, different, like, forums or, like, chats and stuff like that are also a good way to do it because there's, like, a sense of anonymity, which I think is cool. So there's a bunch of different ways. If you have really good, like, advice on how to do that, I mean, definitely put it in the comments. I can really only speak from my experience. Oh, there's no comments. Go to Ash's Facebook page.
Isn't that a bummer?
Yeah, it is.
I know.
But I can only speak from my experience. I can speak for what I found helpful. I've gotten more brave in advocating for myself, especially at work. That was, like, easily one of the scariest. I work in a very, like, inclusive and, like, a company that truly believes in diversity. And I've had, like, more support there than I could have ever imagined, which is amazing. And people that know nothing about non-binary identities actually, like, try to learn, which I think is super cool. But even in that situation, I didn't advocate for myself for a really long time because I felt like it was inappropriate or something for the office, which isn't the case. It's, like, it's totally appropriate to advocate for yourself and for people to use the right pronouns. So it took me a really long time. I'm still not perfect at it. Like, I don't correct everybody when they misgender me or anything like that. But it takes time and takes a lot of patience. And it takes a level of, I think, just, like, bravery with yourself, even, like, just to, like, let yourself be in those situations. But make sure that you're really practicing, like, self-care, and that if you have, like, if you have an ability to talk to, like, a counselor or somebody else that you can confide in and kind of talk through some of these situations with, I know I found that super helpful. So that's also something.
Can I ask you a question that I feel like a lot of folks, I feel like I might know the answer, but I feel like a lot of folks might be wondering. And,
no.
Okay, sounds good. So,
no.
But we are actually already at 10 minutes, so maybe I'll ask you the question and then we'll save the answer for tomorrow's vlog.
Oh, look at you. Living that cliffhanger.
I know, right? So I'm going to ask you the question and then I'm going to shout out a cool thing.
Okay.
So my question is, so you like they, them pronouns?
Yes.
And you know you don't like she, her pronouns.
Yes.
Have you ever tried out he, him pronouns? And how do you know those don't work for you?
Find out tomorrow.
In the meantime, if you still want... Oh, wait.
Oh, no.
In the meantime, if you still want some more Ash and Grace content, I was mostly, Grace only for a moment, was briefly featured in a animation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a collaboration that me, my friend Crystal, and...
I'm in it for like half of a second.
Yeah. Crystal and her husband did, and they're little animators, and it's really funny, and it's really hilarious, and it's well done. We talk about unpopular opinions. You get to see Cartoon Ash and Cartoon Grace, and it's really, really wonderful. Mm-hmm. And so I'll put the link for that in the description, and then we can talk about he, him pronouns tomorrow.
Let's do it. Splish, splash, waterfall, give a dog a bone.
Meow.